participate. I'm gonna pull up my notes because I got notes. And to tell you, it's real out in these streets. Turn that off. Sorry. All right. So, hold on. Pull out my notes. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome tonight. Yes. Thank you, Karen. All right. So there's 3 points that I want to talk to y'all about tonight. And this is going to be as good as y'all allow it to be. And right now it's 65 people on here. And there's no 64, not including me. I don't know if my husband's on here. If my husband's on here, that would be 63. So I need y'all to talk to me today. It should not take that long for somebody to respond. Okay, and ain't no, I'm gonna wait and see if she respond. Like, speak up. Like, come on. If you guys, y'all desire, you're here for a reason. You desire more, and so stop acting like you don't desire more in this moment. Okay, so, woo. So, for those who did not see it, Cammie and I, well, I took over Cammie's Instagram. Who saw that? You can comment to me in the comments. Who saw the, it's actually up on her stories and she highlighted it. Did anybody see that? That was actually really subtle. It's so funny. And some of my friends saw it and they was like, you're nice. I said, well, look, we got Jesus. It's the Jesus in us. And we want to be relatable and we don't want to be, we don't lead with anger. We lead with love. And I think that's where a lot of people get things mistaken. Like, you have to lead with love. But here's the thing for me. As I was talking to open up the eyes of everybody else, what I wanted to say is, but when y'all gonna open up your eyes? Y'all want other people to understand so much. And I get it. I'm not saying that we don't. But when do we stop being victims? Do y'all know today? And I want you to feel something in this moment. Today, I was looking up organizations, 501(c)(3)s that have been established and have been pursuing helping either black kids or even black, are there any resources for us? Like right now, is there a black resource for me? No. But yet we complain so much. Ain't no black people on stage. Get on stage. Stop quitting. Well, the panels are all white. Do you know why? What number are you? What do you do every single time your team quits? Why should they highlight you just because you black? Come on, get out of here. I want to be like, listen, this is why I do what I do. Stop being a victim. Stop being a victim. We are not victims. Is it hard? Yes. Is it different? Yes. Do black people quit very fast? Faster than you can sneeze. I'm not saying that they don't. But so what? And stop feeling sorry for yourself because we are victims of our environment. You decide. How many people here went to college? How many people graduated? Did everybody that you started with graduate? How many people actually got a job in their field? I did. I fought for it. So when do you wake up and become a fighter? That's my question tonight. When you gonna start fighting? The lack of representation is because of us, not because of them. I'm just being completely honest with y'all. I desire so much for there to be a representation, but there cannot be a representation if we're not willing to fight to be the example. You don't quit something just because it becomes hard. And that's what we do. If it becomes too hard, it's like, well, they wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, or you fall back. It is crazy because that's how we do when it comes to serve. When it comes to serve, y'all, we've been servers our whole life. Okay, we've been serving some and not getting paid a lot. I think back, it was crazy. I was this morning and I was on that live and I was thinking about two things happened to me this morning on top of the stuff that happened yesterday. But two things happened to me this morning, and one of them was, our grandparents, parents, great-grandparents, whatever, they worked hard for nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean they got paid like pennies. So tell me why y'all won't work hard for money, like Bitcoins. I'm talking about they out in fields picking cotton for nothing. I mean, and I'm talking about like nothing, next to nothing. And some people, they did tobacco. I think my grandparents did both cotton and tobacco, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But you just got to persevere past your feelings and past no's, and you won't do it. And then you want to be a victim and say, well, you got it different. And you got like every excuse in the world. Why? Come on. The second thing was realizing how spiritual this is. It's actually very spiritual. And I was having a conversation with somebody who was older, and she allows me to mentor her, which I find such a blessing. That somebody, because a lot of times in our culture, older people, they don't really listen to you. They don't. But I've had some amazing women that have decided to allow me to mentor them, even though I'm younger. And I said, here's the thing. What do we do when things are hard? We go back to what we know to do. We go, and we talked about this on here. We go back to what's easy. I could work a job. All I gotta do, what did our grandparents do? Why did they work so hard? 90%, I'm gonna say 99. Why did they work? Does anybody know? Why does it work? It wasn't to pay bills. It was to put food on the table. It was so you could eat. We're not here just to eat. It's for so much more than eating. We are not here to just survive, and we don't have to just survive. So, my question to you is, did you kill it? And what I mean by that is all these roots that every single time you hop on here, every single time you're uncomfortable, do you pull up the root and kill it?
So, can we talk now?
Yeah, girl, go ahead. You could always talk.
So, honestly, watching with everything that was going on and watching you taking over Cammie Zoom and everything, it really hit home for me, especially staying in St. Louis. I instantly reverted back to being in that chaos with the Mike Brown situation. Like, I went down there, protesting, being tear gassed and stuff. And I used to make it seem like somebody owed me something, like, because like, oh, I'm Black, I've been down there, like, you owe me this and I'm oppressed and da-da-da-da. And as I grew up, especially after I had my son, I was like, wait, being oppressed is a mindset. Like, I could change that. Like, that's a curse. Like, I could literally switch that up. And even more recently, thinking about like my time in the business, there were times where I literally would feel sorry for myself, and I left because the upline left, and I was like, oh, well, I don't have this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave because they owe me. They shouldn't have left me. They shouldn't have did this. And growing up, I felt like I had like a sense of entitlement, like because my ancestors were oppressed, or because we went through this and went through that and still going through stuff, like somebody owes me stuff. And I'm like, no, like it's up to me to break the cycle. Like it's up to me to break the cycle, especially raising a boy. Like my son just turned 5 on Monday. And even though he's so young, turning an age in this day and age for a young Black boy is a milestone. Like I sat and I cried for hours on his birthday. Like, man, I'm straight raising a Black man. Like I have to break the cycle. Like I have to break it. I have no choice. I'm a mom of a Black boy. Like I have to break the cycle. And I said, I got to stop feeling sorry for myself, because it's not going to do anything but trickle down to him. And I don't want that at all. Like, I don't want that. He doesn't deserve that. So I had to click and be like, you know what? If I want better for him, I have to be better now. Because I'm a mother. Like, I have to be better now. Like, I plan to be a wife, so I have to be better now. So that's just pretty much my stance on stuff now.
Can I speak, Rachel? Hey, okay, so I just wanted to say that before Mike Brown and everything, in 2013, my boyfriend was shot and killed by the police. But my father was a police officer, and he broke everything down to me, like, because he wasn't in the same city or anything. I'm from Arkansas. I was born in Arkansas, grew up in Georgia, but at the time I was living in Virginia whenever this happened. And then Mike Brown happened, like when I moved, and I had actually moved to New Orleans. So like I've been different places, but I realized, I guess, I don't even remember what day it was, whenever the police, they announced I was in my car and they announced on the radio that the police officer that killed George Floyd had been arrested. And I was just like, and I didn't even realize until that point that I was still broken from all those things that had occurred. And I never talked about it. I just kept it. And I don't think, like, because I didn't feel like, okay, yes, these things are going on, but like, I still have to get up and move and do the different things that I do. But then I also realized since those times, I have more medical issues. And it's because I'm stressed and I'm doing things, I'm holding on to stuff. And in order to help myself, I have to start letting those things go so that I can heal. And one of the reasons I decided to start with the business is because of the different products that help me with my medical things. But I've had some different bumps and issues, and I haven't been in here for a year or anything like that. But I don't plan on going anywhere, because I don't know about anybody else, but all my life I had to fight for something. My mom was born and raised in Newport, Arkansas. She picked strawberries, and her mom picked cotton, and this person picked, and like, so it's just been on and on and on. But that doesn't mean that I have to do those things. You make a choice for yourself. So that's all I have to say.
I will say this, and I'm so sorry that happened to you, because it sucks. I didn't have a boyfriend, but I actually had a close friend, like somebody, like somebody sleepovers when we was in high school. We wasn't sleeping. It was like a big brother to me, and it's I don't even know how to even. There's no words. Like there's just no words. And I was talking to Breon because we were sitting there, and the next day when Cammie broke down, it almost felt like he had just died again. Like it was like Jesus, like all the emotions just rushed back to me, because it was like, this is normal for us. But what else is normal? And this is the conversation that I've had with my friends. What else is normal? I've actually had more friends and family members die from a Black person than from a white one. So if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it all. Now, that does not take away the oblivious. Like I'm not discrediting that. But at the end of the day, we gotta, like, it's a problem across the board. It's a problem across the board. And so it's just something to pray about. But in this moment, I want to know what roots you got that you about to pull up, and you're not going to allow to block you from being the best you that you're supposed to be. Because even in the midst of all of this, you don't want to have that, well, I got to win because I got to get it. Because that's, if anybody can be honest, I could say everybody on here, you've been there, where you overcompensate because of the color of your skin. And if I'm wrong, that's fine. It might be one person on here who can say that ain't me. But we're not there anymore. And if you're still there, my prayer is that you get past that. Because we have, and I think that has a lot to your full submission to Christ. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, you have to fully submit to Christ. Like fully, you have to give it all to him, not to social media, and that's why it took so long. And I even opened up this morning and told her, like, I haven't shared because I'm not gonna share in my flesh. I refuse to share in my flesh and my feelings. The devil just will not take me out. I'm not willing. But number two, I didn't really believe that people didn't understand. Because I was like, how can you not see it? But her genuineness opened up my heart. And so when God opened up that door, I know it was my time to talk. I'm not going to talk just because I'm in my feelings. I'm just not going to do it. And that's hard sometimes. Can we just be real? Even when it comes to the business, you pissed off because people ain't responding to you, and now you're in your feelings and you can't send messages for a week. I'm telling the truth. And then you out here stunting like you sending messages, but you just posted. And talking about, yeah, I sent my PMF, it's done. Girl, pull up your inbox. Like, let me see. Set that out. Instead of saying, like, no, I need help. I'm having a bad day. And I don't feel like sending messages because this no pissed me off. But here's the thing. Are you willing to step away and get yourself together? Or do you call your homegirl or your friend who's doing bad too? Like, oh, ain't nobody saying yes to me. And because are we taught that? Are we taught that? We're taught that. So when do you reteach yourself and do something different? Who got something?
Can I speak up?
Sure. You want to sit from Susan Wade team?
I am.
Hey.
I thank you very much, Rachel, for doing this Zoom. Look, I know for sure that God led me to this business because I had been looking for something to spark me for years. And this was it. Like, I went, like I said, this was it. I know this being here was divine. Okay. I went to Howard University, the most blackety black school college that you can go to.
Okay.
I became a Delta.
Okay.
Black Soror, the most blackety black sorority you can belong to. I have my master's. I've owned a brick and mortar company. Mm-hmm. So to come to this, I understand it. I get it. I have a twin sister who's been in MLMs for 20 years and couldn't get me to join not one. So I know that this was my time. And I know that God saved this business for me. Mm-hmm. My issue is that I want them to speak a little bit more about Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. I want them to talk about what they're doing in the Black community. I have no issues with being confident. I have no issue. Those are not my issues. My issue is I've seen a picture with the Pentecost with President Trump.
We all did. Do you know where that's from?
No, I don't. That's why I'm here. And I don't want to allow those things, because everybody has a there are a lot of people who we support who have pictures with Trump. There are a lot of them. That's why I don't want to allow that picture to move me.
Yeah.
And I want to know something.
Okay, so you haven't heard anything.
No.
Okay, so let us enlighten you, Heather.
Huh?
I'm gonna tell you. So that picture, first of all, I don't know how long you've been here, but Mark don't even look like that no more.
Well, I know, it's an old picture.
So that picture, first of all, so I'm trying to think. 2000, I think they said 2000 and before, it was like 7, 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. Trump is a successful business owner, like extremely successful. Before all of this presidential stuff, like he's extremely successful. So they were at some type of charity event or something like that, and he's a successful business owner. So like their association, it would be different if it was like 4 years ago. It would be different if it was like during his campaign.
Okay.
But somebody was fishing.
I just want to know it's not current.
No, that's old. Like old. Like from before I was in the business old. And I've been here 7 years. So I don't know why nobody told you that, like especially when you saw it, like that was literally fishing and finding something because, whoo, come on, Jesus, because of the roots. And when we're hurt, what do? We look for justification for our hurt. Ooh, who can speak to that? Like when we're pain, we're looking for answers for our pain, right? Now, in terms of them not speaking, just because I've been here for 7 years, they don't speak unless they have a solution. Mark is not one to speak with his mouth without speaking with his money. And so, that's why when I first got on here, I don't know if you heard what I said, but who is the organization to give to? And that's where we come in. Where are the established Black organizations that are making a difference in this world? And I'm talking non-for-profit, because Black people always want to be for profit. Show me the coins. I'm not saying we should be, but there's not a lot of resources out there. So will he speak? Absolutely. You can guarantee that. And when they give, they give. They give $1 million to Dick Vitale. They give. But they have to know that they're giving into, you know what I'm saying? So I think they're doing research right now. And like Mark coaches Black kids. Like if y'all knew how down to earth they are and how like Cammie, like if you haven't seen Breon took over Cammie. First of all, can we just give in the comments, y'all light it up. Show my husband some love. For those of y'all who don't know, Breon does not do that. And for about the first 5, 6, I wanted to boo-boo my pants. I was like, my husband is so uncomfortable. Help, Jesus. I was like, he is so uncomfortable. But he did it. So shout out to Breon for being on Cammie's Instagram today. I told Cammie, I said, Breon won't even do that for me. So he really likes she was lot. So go check that out. But Breon shared a male's perspective, and Breon's story is different from my story because, of course, every Black person's story is different. Like, that's why I try to tell people, like, it's different for everybody. But he actually went to a Catholic white high school and then went to a HBCU. Yep. And that's how my husband, he's a member at Kappa Alpha Psi. Yo, baby. So, everybody has a story. And then I'm be honest with y'all, when I hopped on there, it was just like, God, please give me exactly what to say. give me exactly what to say, because I don't want the anger. I want to be able to connect and have people understand my story. So that's good. I'm glad you asked that, but it's not that picture is way before Trump decided. I mean, if he decided to run for president, we didn't know. Like, that was way before. That was back when Trump was on TV, and he was still crazy, but he was a successful business owner. Like, it was before all of this presidential craziness. So yeah, me neither. Yes, it is. It is available for replay. So on Cammy's, she has a highlight for mine, and Breon's is up there right now. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, he did. Yeah, Breon did. Okay. All right, who else got some?
Me. Hey, y'all. So when you said, like, you know, what's rooted, or, you know, have you pulled it out, it's crazy because I don't speak to my family about this stuff. Like, my mom and really my mom, because she's just so like, oh, black people. And it's just annoying because, like, I mean, I love all people. Don't get me wrong. I tell people, I don't care for racist white people. I don't care for racist black people. Black people are racist too. So my mom, we grew up in we grew up in Indianapolis, and my mom, where we grew up at, when she went to high school, they started getting bused. So where we lived down the east side of Indianapolis, they started getting bused to a school called Southport, and it was a white school. You know, that was still when it was, you know, segregated and all this kind of stuff. So they were the first black class to go to that school. So they were like getting, you know, just, they wouldn't even let them off the bus. Like, it was just that deep. So that's rooted in her because she was treated that way. So she tries to pour that out on us, but we just like, you know, me, my sister, my brother, like, we're not like that. So it's just like, okay, it could be little stuff, y'all. Like, I tell all the time, like, you are racist and you need to let that go, because it could be like we watching Family Feud, and if it's a white family and a black family, I want the black family to win. They cannot give good answers the whole game. They could be, I'm sorry, but dumb as a box of rocks. But she gonna always go with the black people just because they black, and that's not right. So if I'm like, well, I'm going for the white team because they've been doing good. Like, they on fire, they fast money. You know, girl, something wrong with you. So even just the same day we had that Zoom and Cammie got on, my sister posted about I hadn't heard about the blackout, whatever, until we got on Zoom. So we got a family chat. My sister posted about, you know, if y'all post this, make sure y'all don't hashtag the Black Lives Matter, because something won't be seen. So they were going back and forth about it. She kept on texting me, Shanice, are you gonna post this? Shanice, you got 2 black sons. Da, da, da. I was like, I told you, every time we have a Zoom or a Get Your Mind Right, something is needed. And I don't know why at that time, but it's needed because something is coming. She was on me so heavy. And I finally wrote back and said, I'm not posting it. Dude, I got chewed out so bad until I just really text her and I explained to her why I wasn't posting it. And, you know, things like I broke down the things that we talked about, you know, on the Zoom. Like, I'm not posting it because I want to be inspiration. I want people to look at my page and have some positivity, because everybody doesn't feel that way. So after I said that, you know, it was okay. But I don't talk to a lot of people about it because I feel like people are following other people. Like, okay, y'all care about Black lives now, but y'all didn't care about them a month ago. Like you said, it's more black people killing black people than white people. Like, this, just here in Mississippi, I live in a small town. It's like 3 boys got killed. And yes, people are sad about it, but they're not making it a big deal like they were when the other boy got shot. In Indianapolis, a black boy got shot by the police. He ran from the police. You know, it's just like, he got shot and killed. They just like, you know, doing the most, but y'all not saying nothing when the black people do it to each other. Like, all lives should matter, whether it's black, white, whatever. So I, like you said, it just rooted in some people, and you just have to be able to let it go. Because for a little bit, when I went to Southport, I found myself like, I don't like white people. But, you know, I was in middle school. But when I grew up and was able to get that closer relationship with God and just get out of that, I've matured so much. But yeah, it's definitely rooted from life experiences or whatever. But like you said, you have to stop being a victim at some point, because, you know, you're going to be stuck in that mind frame forever.
I thought somebody had unmuted. Thank you, Shanice, for that. Like, so y'all know me. I'm solution focused over here, y'all. So I want to focus forward, and I want to know how all 98 of us can be a part of the solution in this setting. And I want to tell you that one of the number one solutions is pick your root that this week you're going to kill. Just one. You can't pull all the roots up at one time. You're not strong enough for that. You would need to be in somebody's hospital ward trying to pull up all your roots at the same time. And I ain't lying, because y'all, come on. If you pulled up all your roots right now, would you be okay? No. So everybody. Okay.
I got one more thing, if that's okay. And I forgot rambling on about that. But okay, so I think her name was Kia. I didn't see the Donald Trump picture. I really don't care to see it anyway. It wasn't gonna change my mind about Mark anyway, because I know, I don't know him, but I know his heart. It just shows. But I know that a lot of companies, even my job, they send out an email so fast about how they care about Black lives and all this kind of stuff, and just because they didn't want to be looked at as the bad people. To me, we didn't get an email from It Works and I don't know if y'all saw it, but we actually did get an email from Mark about it, but not just right off the bat, and I knew it was because they were trying to sit back and listen and really understand how we felt. Like, they care, they show how they care, how we felt and all that, and they sent an email and it was heartfelt. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. And I mean, to me, honestly, if they didn't send an email, I wouldn't have felt any type of way, but I know some people do, and they, it's just like they sent the email. My customer, the one that told me about it, like, she was like, oh my God, that email I had no idea that until she said, "Mom, me in a book we reading," like, the Just Cuz and stuff like that. Like, it was, yeah. So yeah, they do care. People gonna come and try to throw salt and try to make everybody look bad just because, for their personal gain, but you just gotta ignore. You gotta
think about the anger, right? Because when you angry, you do whatever. But the Bible says to be angry and sin not. So we can be pissed all we want, but guess who you gotta be pissed to? Jesus. You better get your David on and go out in the woods and swing some rocks and write some poems. I'm not trying to be petty, but I'm for real. Because that's what David did. He was pissed. Y'all, read Psalms. He was pissed. Big pissed. For real. Okay? But he went ahead and went to Jesus with his pissed self. And God made it okay. And could it be, and I'm going to be, could it be in this moment that God want to see what your heart is like? Because what I got next for y'all is real, but are you in a position to receive it?
Rachel, can I say something?
Girlfriend.
Okay, so I'm seasoned. So my parents took me to the Lincoln Memorial when I was 5. So that was in 1963. So y'all can try to kind of figure out how old I am, but I ain't gonna tell you. So last Saturday, my oldest son, my 2 youngest daughters, and my grandson and I went to Black Lives Matter Plaza. So now y'all know where I live at, right? So in my seasoning, I have been through the riots in '68. I have been through the Vietnam War. And there have been some other things, and now this. So when I say this a tipping, but what we have to do, not just as Black people, Black lives do matter. I cried the whole time his brother gave his testimony yesterday. I cried. We have to not stop, but we have a better, as a group of entrepreneurs in a network marketing company, we have a better opportunity to be able to show people what can happen and what you can do when you're not dependent on the federal government for a job, when you're not dependent on corporate America for a job, but when you're saying, I'm going to do this and build a legacy for me and mine and show you that it can be done. I haven't given up in 4 years because I'm determined that I want people to understand that the best way to do it is to build yours and then bring somebody else along. That's the opportunity we have, is to keep reaching back and bringing somebody else along. And when they don't see it, in our messenger group, I sent a scripture because I'm taking a discipleship class, and in discipleship class, I came across this scripture, and it's Mark 6:4. So when you hear the no's, when people tell you no, when they tell you crazy, remember this. Jesus said this: prophets are respected everywhere except in their own hometown by their relatives and their families. It didn't just start with you doing network marketing. It started way back when he started talking. So that's that. Now I'm through talking.
I just wanted to say something that was kind of in addition to that, because racism is institutionalized, right? So there's a system set up that gives certain disadvantage. And when I saw the picture of Mark and Trump on Instagram, and then I also saw some Black millionaires that got to be millionaires, and it works, and they were criticizing Mark over this picture. And I was just like, first of all, these were people that I had looked up to outside of Rachel and, my other uplines, but these were people that I had looked up to because they were Black and they made it. So I was really shocked when I saw them criticizing Mark over this picture. And I remember reading one of Donald Trump's books before he became president. And I was just like, oh man, this is kind of, it's a pretty good book. I read The Art of the Deal, and I'm like, that's pretty good. And then, he ran his campaign, and I heard the grab him by the what and like all other craziness. I'm like, this man is real crazy. So when I saw the picture of Mark, I'm like, I remember when I used to like Donald Trump. Like, I remember that. So a picture is a picture. How many times have I taken a picture with somebody that I later on down the line, I was like, oh my God, memories. Facebook memories will show you some stuff. Your life is over. So after actually meeting Cammie in person, and just like, there was no, you can tell when somebody don't like you because you're Black or you're uncomfortable or they're uncomfortable around you. I never felt that from her, and just seeing her relationship with Rachel, I felt really comfortable with that. But back again to racism being institutionalized. They don't have a different set of rules, and it works for Black people. All of us have the exact same compensation plan, and they provide the same training and rules and everything for everyone. This is the first time I have ever been in a position to make as much money as I want to. And not only that, offer other Black people a way to make income. That ain't racism right there. That's not racist. So the picture didn't mean anything to me when I know the reality of what It Works allows me to do and be. And this is the most that I have grown in my life. Like, if you watch them and you're watching their lives, like I've met Pam, I've met Mike, and none of them people racist. I've seen crackheads and prostitutes and Harvard graduates on the stage. Like, we've had such a wide range of people from all different races and all different backgrounds and all different socioeconomic statuses on that white couch at conference, talking about where they came from and how they got here and what the company and the business has allowed them to do. That is not racism. That's not classism. That's not sexism. That's none of that stuff. We all have the same compensation plan. We all have the same tool that the company provides to each individual that signs up as a distributor. Ain't no racism in that. So I didn't give a damn about his picture with Trump when I know what racism is, what classism is, what sexism is. And I know my experience here and I know the facts. So it just didn't bother me. And it made me look at the people that were criticizing him over a picture. I'm like, how are you criticizing him when you done made millions?
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. I get it. I get it. Mm-hmm.
Rachel, can I say something?
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Okay. So the same thing that Allison said, I didn't see the actual picture on Instagram. I follow certain people on Instagram where they used to be in the business and they're no longer with our business. And that's totally fine. I don't feel any kind of way about that because people either grow or going to be here for a lifetime. So I'm okay with that. But when I start seeing people just do random stuff and like you said, out of their feelings, that's why I was like, oh, and every time, I don't know who said it, somebody said that anytime we come to get our minds right the day before, something always happens. And when we get our money right Zooms, I'm like, oh my God. Oh, I'm glad I don't respond to that. Like I get so geeked when I get, like I have stuff happen to me Wednesday and on Thursday, I'm like, oh my God. Oh, I know I should thank Lord Jesus, thank you. Like my whole demeanor changes. And the thing that I've been seeing on Instagram was, oh, well, everybody who's a CEO got targeted. I knew that was going to happen. I didn't see, like I said, the actual picture of Mark with Trump, but I was hearing circulation of it. And I'm like, oh, and then the night before, the day after that, we was on a Zoom with Cammie. And I was like, I met Cammie before in real life. And I'm like, I just didn't feel like they are racist. Like, that's not, like you can tell a person's heart when you meet them or when you're around them in their space. So I never got that from them. And again, like you said, when people get in their feelings and they work out of emotion.
But see, that's a good point, because how often do we just follow because somebody else said it? That's the thing. Instead of, this is why our team coaches and pushes the spiritual development the way that we do, because
if I don't do that as a daily thing, I would have fell into that trap. I would have been like, oh, let me just get out of it works and let me just stop and let me, like, I would have been in that same mindset of saying, well, I don't think I should be working with It Works, because, and that same day I saw all that stuff, I posted about It Works. I said, thank God for something because I'm in It Works. And I was just like, okay, so y'all not gonna tell me what I can't post on my page. That's what you're not gonna do.
But see, that's getting back to our tendencies.
Yeah.
I know Keisha wanted to say something.
So this kind of goes, can you hear me? Okay. Kind of goes back to what you said at the beginning of being able to take the position of being the victor and not being in a victim. And so magnifying the solutions versus the problem, we spend so much, and it is hurtful, right? We spend so much time talking about the problem, right? Versus what are the solutions that I could do in my sphere, that I can do. But also thinking of it this way, and I hope this doesn't go off wrong. Statements are hashtag nice but not needed, especially when you truly give it to God. Because I'm grateful to be in this space where I'm not gonna put an expectation that I have in men that I'm gonna put in God. God, I need you to give me the eyes to make the people who I'm working with do right by me, right? And give me the eyes to know the people who don't have my best interest at hand, and trusting that He will do that. And so really looking at this spiritual, if I can look at it spiritual, then I can expect God to handle it. If I can't look at it the way God looks at it, I can't expect Him to handle it. And so although it's nice, I kind of think of it this way, how I'm seeing everything rising up. Like somebody forced their boyfriend to say, I love you. You don't want nobody to feel forced like this to say, I love you. You want them to be able to show you, and genuinely something sparks up and they say, I love you, right? And so it really is, with me, I've been in the business for 5 years. And just to how I felt when I'm around them,
And because I have worked in corporate America, I know when somebody's pretending to like me, how I felt and what they've given me, not from just Mark, but just the entire corporate team, means more to me than anything that can be said. Because something being said is as simple as being able to hire someone who knows how to put words together beautifully. And so really, I think this is saying, God, I really need to put this frustration into you, and I need you to handle it. I need you to handle it. Because God will do something like this. You got a coworker that ain't treating you right. Instead of going to the coworker, he'll make sure the coworker get fired. So God, I don't feel right about this. I do feel like there should be a statement. I feel this. The picture bothered me. Whatever is happening, and truly giving it to God, and He will handle it for you. But He also will give you this discernment to say, you need to deal with this person from back here. And so I think that's what's so important. And I know sometimes people may say, oh, I always go spiritual, but it is a real thing. It is a real thing, because what happens is when you go to prayer, it's like me, and I'm going to use the coach analogy, right? It's like me going to my coach to get a play to win the game, but then I get on the floor and I don't use his plays. I'm not going to win if I don't use his plays, but also if I don't go to my coach, I can't get any plays. And so I have to think of that time when I go to God, like, I need some plays for this. I do. And the play may not look like what I would do, but I ain't the coach. He is. And so really in this moment, I think it's so important for us to magnify the solution and not the problem, because the problem is the past. The problem gave us a little bit of wisdom, right? But now we get to focus on the solution, our sphere of influence. And like, I don't know her name, who gave the beautiful scripture. In our sphere of influence, we get to magnify the solution, right? We get to magnify the solution. And so no matter how anyone else is feeling, we're going to magnify the solution, because no matter what you do, you're going to have to work with somebody. You got a Black-owned restaurant, the person who made the meat may be a white farmer. Who knows, right? So it's just really saying, God, I really want to put the expectation in you. This isn't to say we're not going to move our feet and do anything, but all of my feelings I have to put into you, and I have to handle as a good father. You're going to handle it for me. And as simple as that. I'm not oppressed anymore, just like the children of Israel. They were oppressed for so long because they stayed oppressed. Their oppression, their oppression was gone, but they stayed in it because they was back with Pharaoh that whole time. So really saying, God, I need you to renew our minds so that we can really go into the system and change it. So we're going to magnify the solution over in these parts so we can do what we can.
I wanted to say something really quick. Like, the book that we're currently reading, The Infinite Game, talks a lot about how the finite mind versus the infinite. And basically, one of the explanations that it gave was talking specifically on solution-based. So a finite is not solution-based, it's just focused on winning, versus infinite is basically playing the game and it's a cause bigger than you. And that's what I feel like we are as we are within It Works. So we can't, the example that I wanted to give was, it talks about poverty. We can't focus on poverty, but we can focus on the fact that being with It Works, we have a solution here where we can help people generate income for their families. So we can't fix poverty, because poverty is a mindset. We have something here to be able to offer people to help them get out of poverty. It's like when you talk to somebody, you talk to the person, they're like, I don't want this to mess up my unemployment benefits. But that's a mindset, because you actually have the ability to be able to bless someone with so much more. So I feel like taking it back to your original question, which is what roots are we going to get rid of? One of the roots that we can mainly get rid of, and one of the ones that I know that I want to be getting rid of, is when we had our one-on-one, Rachel, you talked to me specifically. One of my main things was scheduling, and how literally you was just like, girl, you can't be sitting down when your kid is asleep. You need to work. And that is a weed that I have been ripping up at the roots this week consistently to get rid of it. So what is the solution that you can give to clear out all that other stuff? I mean, okay, somebody circulated a picture of Trump and Mark. There's a person that's no longer within the business, and they made millions in the business, and they're gone. Why are you still pressed about it? You've been gone for 2 years, okay? So when you have to look at who's circulating the information and get back to the root of the problem, which is, what are we going to do to move forward and help It Works with a solution, which is eliminating poverty?
Let me just say this though, You have to earn your seat at the table. Okay? Unless you Mephibosheth, if you don't know it, go read his story today. You got to earn your seat at the table. I don't know why we think, it's just like what Lydia said. Just because you Black don't mean they got to listen to you. The people who get to make, and I mean, granted, they're going to listen because they're grateful. But I'm speaking from what Rachel's saying right now, okay? You got to earn your seat. And earning your seat don't look like anger. Don't nobody want to sit with nobody angry on either side. I don't want to sit with somebody that's angry on their side. They don't want to sit with somebody angry. Oh, Lindsay, you want to sit with me if I'm screaming and cussing? Where's Lindsay at? Lindsay, I'm talking to, like, they don't want to sit with me if that's how I act. If I got on here all the time and act like that, they wouldn't want to come to my Zooms. So let's be clear on the representation that we want to give. We have to be clear on the representation that we want to give. And let me just say this, because this is what I have for y'all. Y'all know what's so crazy? I wanted to tell y'all to dig up the roots. And it's crazy because I've actually talked to my leadership about this maybe about a year ago. I don't know if y'all remember. I think I got some of those leadership meetings recorded, and I need to drop them on my YouTube. Because, listen, if you're going to be out here acting like Pharisees, you're not going to get the disciples' reward. Okay? That's for somebody. And what I'm about to say is not for the Pharisees. So if you need to search your heart tonight and say, am I a Pharisee or am I a disciple? You need to figure it out. I got to figure out which one that was. Who got their notes from leadership meetings so I can figure out which call that was so I can pull it and let me know who got them. If y'all got, I'm going to drop that leadership off. Because as of right now, it's a lot of Pharisees out here. It's a lot of people who claim Christ, who claim even Black Lives Matter. Okay? But what are you doing to make a Black Lives Matter? So, are you a Pharisee? And I'm talking about here in this moment. I want you to know, what I wanted y'all to know is like, the overflow is here. Like right now. It's here. But your victimization is going to keep you from reaping your reward. Your lack of discipline is going to keep you from getting a reward. Your lack of scheduling is going to keep you from getting a reward. Your lack of consistency is going to keep you from getting a reward. You worried about your mama commenting on your post is going to keep you from getting your reward. The fact that you won't block your mama is going to keep you from getting your reward. The fact that you let people comment on your statuses and say stupid stuff is going to keep you from getting a reward. So right now in this moment, I'm going to need you to be a disciple. And the disciples was out here checking people just like Jesus because they looked like him. They did it in a very respectful way, but they looked like their leader. And so my question to you is, in this season, do you look like Jesus? Or do you look like everybody else? Do you have the heart of Christ? Because he has a reward for you. And he's trying to put some super on some natural. A lot of y'all been real consistent. And that's what I have for y'all. A lot of y'all, and we only got 5 minutes left, a lot of y'all have been very consistent. More consistent than you've ever been. And I feel that Galatians 6 and 9 right through this moment. That tonight I was supposed to tell you that if you maintain the integrity of who you've become, because a lot of you guys have became something different than you're used to. You've decided that you're no longer going to be that person, that victim, that person who's inconsistent, the one who just stops and keeps starting over. You decided And in this moment, if you continue to go and stop looking like everybody else because you want to fit in, but ain't even, you know, am I frozen? Look at that.